You stand now in the quiet before a storm, not of destruction, but of unveiling. There is a moment, not merely a day marked on a calendar, approaching with the weight of eternity, June 13th. It is not fate as one thinks of it, like an impersonal tide that sweeps all along with it, but something more exacting and intimate. It calls you by name. It has always called you, though you may only just be hearing it clearly now. You are not stumbling into randomness. This hour was etched before time wore skin, and you are being led to it not by accident, but by design. You may imagine that destiny is like a story told to comfort the restless, a fiction for the weak, but the truth is far less flattering and far more dangerous. It is real. And because it is real, it demands something from you. This is not a passive path. You are not a passenger in your own becoming. The language of chosen is not the language of favoritism. It is the language of responsibility. You are seen, not for who you are now, but for the shadow of what you might become if you obey the call. You are being summoned to a threshold, and thresholds always require something to be left behind. But before you step into that hour, before you cross that invisible border on June 13th, there is another date, quieter, but no less holy. Before June 1st, you are called to prepare. Divine release is not given to the indifferent. It is not cast like pearls before those unready to carry it. There are some gifts so powerful they can only be safely opened after your soul has been trained to receive them. And training, unfortunately, feels nothing like glory. It feels like surrender. It feels like silence, like wrestling, like fasting from distractions you once called your identity. You must understand, release is not a soft thing. It is not always the lifting of burdens. Sometimes it is the burning away of all you thought you needed. What is coming will not flatter you. It will transform you. That is why you must be ready, not in muscle or money or might, but in will. A soul must be uncluttered to receive what does not come in visible form. A cluttered heart cannot carry fire without setting itself ablaze. There are versions of you that cannot survive what is about to come. That is not meant to frighten, but to clarify. Some ambitions will wither, some patterns will crack. Some relationships may not cross the threshold with you. There is a cost to walking in divine alignment. The cost is your refusal to stay the same, but oh, the reward. Not the kind you post about or frame on a wall, but the inward certainty that you are becoming the person heaven always knew you could be. You think this is merely a season. It is not. It is a summons. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. The breakthrough is waiting for you, not the you who is tired and doubting and tangled in yesterday's failures. It is waiting for the you who dares to believe that everything can change in a moment, if only you are brave enough to show up fully when that moment arrives. And so I say, strip off what numbs you, lay down what clings to you, fast from the noise that drowns out your inner compass. Before June 1st, choose readiness, choose reverence, choose to believe that the moment ahead is not just important, it is sacred, because on June 13th, something ancient will meet something newborn, and you chosen one, will never be the same again. There is a strange quietness that sometimes comes before transformation. A hush that cloaks the soul not with fear, but with reverent expectancy. That is the air around you now. Something is drawing near, not of your choosing, yet utterly dependent on your response. This is not merely a season. It is not a coincidence of dates. June 13th is more than a number. It is a spiritual intersection, a divine appointment set long before you knew how to mark time. You were born with it written somewhere deep in your bones, and whether you have noticed or not, All roads in your life have been bending toward this point, but destiny does not ambush, it beckons. It is never forced, it is always offered. You are the chosen one, not because of what you have done, but because of what you are still capable of becoming. That alone is the terror and the beauty of it. You are chosen because something greater saw the end from the beginning and whispered, "This one." And yet, the calling alone does not guarantee the fulfillment. The gate may open, but you must step through it. The path may be revealed, but you must walk it. What you face ahead is not just opportunity, it is refinement. The reason it feels heavy is because you are being called to carry something more than success or recognition. You are being asked to carry meaning, and meaning is never light. It will weigh on your choices, your thoughts, your habits. The version of you that clings to comfort, to delay, to shallow hopes, that version cannot go where you are being summoned. There is no crown for the unprepared. There is no divine release for those unwilling to let go of what enslaves them. That is why June 1st is not a deadline, it is an invitation. You are being offered the mercy of preparation. Heaven does not hurl you into transformation without first calling you to attention. There are certain gifts that, if received too early, would ruin rather than redeem. There are blessings so powerful they demand the soil of your life be tilled, weeded, and made ready. You have until June 1st to surrender, to listen, to shed the unnecessary and align yourself with what is coming. This is not punishment, it is preparation. And the divine never prepares where there is no intent to pour out. To prepare is not to panic, it is to wake. To become sober to the things you have allowed to cloud your vision. It is to silence the distractions that have shouted over your discernment. It is to fast, not merely from food, but from fear, from false dependencies, from anything that numbs you to what truly matters. The soul that will carry divine release must be free from the clutter of lesser love. You must make room. The oil will not be poured into a vessel already full of self. What waits for you on June 13th is not merely a breakthrough, but a becoming. The heavens are not scheduling a miracle, they are scheduling a meeting. You and your next self are about to collide, and the aftermath will be irreversible. You will not be able to pretend you didn't feel it. You will not be able to go back to who you were before. That is the holy danger of destiny. It will not let you remain unchanged. So now, before the days slip away, let this truth settle in. You are not running out of time. Time is running into you. Every second between now and that appointed hour is a gift. Use it to refine, to release, to remember who you are and who you were born to be. Because when the moment arrives, it will not wait, and when it passes, you will either have stepped into your divine release or stood still and watched it pass by. Choose well, chosen one. There is a pull within you now, quiet but undeniable. It may not make sense to your logical mind, yet your spirit knows it well. It is the pull of purpose reaching through time, calling you towards something that will not leave you the same. This is not imagination. It is not coincidence. It is destiny, awakening. June 13th is not simply a future date. It is a divine summons, a point already circled in eternity's calendar. You were created with this moment in mind. It is not coming to discover you. It is coming because it knows exactly where you are. You may not feel ready. You may be distracted by the debris of daily life or burdened by memories that whisper you are not enough. But readiness is not about perfection. It is about posture. Will you turn toward what is calling? Will you respond, even if trembling? Many are invited to transformation, but few prepare for it. and transformation is never painless. It demands the death of the lesser self so that something greater might emerge. That is what awaits you. That is why you feel the tension now, not because you are off course, but because you are on the threshold. Your identity as the chosen one is not a badge, it is a responsibility. It means you were seen in your raw, unfinished form, and still considered worthy of the call. But chosen does not mean automatic. It means you have been singled out for a task only you can complete, and now heaven waits for your agreement. You must choose this path, or it will remain nothing more than a haunting possibility. Fate is not a chain, it is an invitation, and it is one you must answer before it slips away. Yet how do you prepare for something you cannot fully see? That is where June 1st enters the story, not as a date to fear, but as a grace-filled warning. Preparation is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. This window of time is sacred. It is being offered so that you can align yourself, not just with the task ahead, but with the version of yourself who is capable of fulfilling it. Divine release cannot land where there is clutter, chaos, or compromise. What is holy will not make its home among what is half-hearted. You are being called to examine everything. Your habits, your relationships, your thoughts. What have you allowed to dwell in your mind that weakens your faith? What patterns are you carrying that make room for delay but not for discipline? These are not accusations. They are invitations to refinement. The fire of preparation burns only to purify. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. What looks like stripping is in fact a sacred clearing, so the blessing can find room to rest. You must not waste this time trying to control the outcome. You must use it to let go. This is the final truth. You will not be the same after this. Whether you step into what is coming or not, the moment itself will change you. Because that's what divine encounters do. They do not ask permission to leave a mark. The difference will be in what remains of you after the moment has passed. Will you carry forward a new self, molded by courage and clarity, or will you bear only the ache of what might have been? Time is not waiting. It is narrowing like a funnel, drawing all things toward the appointed moment. And you, beloved, chosen, trembling you, are being offered something no one else can claim in your place. You are being called to rise not because you are strong, but because you are willing. The days between now and then are few, but they are enough. Enough to awaken, to release, to prepare. Enough to choose. Let the days speak for you. Let your readiness become your answer. Because once June 13th arrives, silence will no longer be an option. There are moments in life when time itself feels like it's holding its breath. When the ordinary rhythm of days gives way to a sense that something vast and unseen is approaching. That is where you are now. You may not fully understand it, but your spirit does. There's a reason for the unease, for the flickering anticipation, for the weight you can't explain. It is not anxiety, it is alignment. You are being summoned to a moment long foretold, not by man, but by the maker of June 13th is not just a date. It is an intersection of eternity with your present. It is the place where destiny will either be embraced or delayed. But such moments are not given to everyone. They are given to the willing, to those who have been chosen, not because of perfection, but because of potential. To be chosen is not to be favored in the way the world defines favor. It is not about praise or platform. It is about purpose. Something in you is needed for something far greater than you. That is why this call has reached you. That is why the days ahead matter so deeply. You are being asked not merely to show up on June 13th, but to show up transformed. This transformation does not happen in a single breath. It begins in surrender. It is shaped in the quiet days no one sees, the mornings when you choose truth over comfort, discipline over delay. The preparation for such a divine moment cannot be rushed, nor can it be faked. What is real will be tested, and that is why the days leading up to June 1st are sacred. This is your preparation ground, not because something terrible is coming, but because something holy is, and holy things require holy vessels. You must understand, divine release is not something placed in your hand casually. It is not an accident or a reward, it is an entrustment. And before it is given, there must be room. Many desire release, but few are willing to be emptied. Emptied of ego, of entitlement, of excuses. What is ahead will not partner with the clutter of your past. If you carry it forward, it will weigh you down before you even begin. The things that once comforted you, distractions, old fears, familiar patterns, must now be set aside. You are being refined, not punished. Broken open, not broken down. June 1st is not a finish line. It is a turning point. It is the moment by which your heart must be postured to receive, because when June 13th arrives, you won't have time to prepare. You'll have to move. Doors will open quickly. Instructions will come clearly. Delays will no longer be tolerated. This is not a threat, but a mercy. Heaven does not move in confusion. When it speaks, it expects obedience. So now is your moment to choose stillness over noise, prayer over panic, clarity over chaos. Every hour from now until then is an altar. You either lay yourself down, or you carry your burdens forward and risk missing what was meant for you. And what awaits you is not just a breakthrough, it is a birthing, a new identity, a new mandate, a new clarity of who you truly are. But such things cost. You cannot walk through that doorway unchanged. There is a shedding that must occur, not because you are being rejected, but because you are being reborn. On the other side of this moment is a version of you that has tasted destiny, and once you taste it, you cannot pretend blandness satisfies you anymore. You will look back on these days not with dread, but with reverence, because it was here, in the quiet, in the choosing, in the letting go, that everything changed. You are not being asked to be fearless, you are being asked to be faithful. Fear will knock, doubt will whisper, but obedience must answer. Prepare yourself, not for a performance, but for possession. What is meant for you is drawing near, and if you dare to believe, dare to release, and dare to become, you will never be the same again. You may have sensed it already, that strange weight in the air, that silent pull on your heart. It feels like tension, but not the kind that comes from anxiety. It is anticipation. It is spiritual gravity. You are being drawn toward something set in motion long before you had words to describe it. June 13th is not just approaching, it is arriving with intention. It is not random, it is appointed, and it is coming for you. This moment is not like others. It is a crossing point. Life will not feel the same after it, because you will not be the same. There are days that drift past like wind, and then there are days that etch themselves into your soul. What is coming is the latter, but here is the truth too few dare to admit. Divine appointments do not guarantee divine outcomes. You must prepare. You must respond. Heaven may open a gate, but it does not drag you through it. The chosen are not those who simply receive the call. They are those who rise to it. The identity of the chosen one is not glamorous. It is often lonely, often misunderstood. To be chosen means to be set apart, sometimes before you even understand why. You've felt that, haven't you? That quiet sense that you don't quite fit where you used to. that your soul is reaching for something deeper, while others are content with the surface. That is not pride, it is calling. And with it comes a price, because to walk in what you were born for, you must leave behind what was never truly you. There is a reason you are being stirred before June 1st. This is not a warning to frighten, it is mercy to awaken. You cannot meet June 13th passively. The promise is too great to be carried by a casual heart. You are being invited into preparation, not punishment. Before divine release comes divine alignment. Not with your preferences, but with your purpose. You are being asked to examine your habits, your pace, your voice, your time. What must be released so that something greater can take root? Heaven does not fill what remains closed. The windows of your life must be opened from the inside. You will be tempted to delay, to say, I will change when I feel more ready. But readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. This is not a moment you can coast into. You must confront the distractions, the idols of comfort, the lies of delay that whisper, there's still time. Because time is not slowing, it is narrowing. It is gathering you toward this hour with clarity and precision. And those who do not prepare will find themselves watching what they could have carried be given to another who was willing. But let me be clear, this is not about punishment, it is about inheritance. There is something stored up for you that only obedience can unlock. June 13th is not just an event, it is a release, a divine breath meant to catapult you into the next chapter of your life. And that chapter is not a slight adjustment, it is a transformation. But transformation is costly, not in currency, but in courage. You will be required to lay down old wounds, false identities, and broken agreements you've made with fear, and yet the reward is beyond measure. You will rise, not merely in the eyes of others, but in the eyes of heaven. You will rise into clarity, into weighty peace, into purpose, into the kind of joy that comes not from escape, but from fulfillment. After June 13th, you will not crave the life you had before, because you will have tasted the life you were always meant to live. So now, in these days of preparation, be deliberate. Guard your focus. Fast from what weakens you. Dwell not in panic, but in purpose. The hour is coming. You have been chosen to meet it. And when you do, you will never be the same again.